Do you want to speak English better? Do you want to sound more natural? Do you want to understand native speakers clearly? Then try the shadowing technique. Hello, and welcome to this English learning video. Today, I will teach you a simple and powerful way to improve your speaking. It is called the shadowing technique. What is shadowing? Shadowing means you listen to someone speak in English. Then you repeat their words right after them. Try to copy their voice, their speed, and their feeling. You become like their shadow. That's why we call it shadowing. This method will help you speak more clearly, pronounce words better, improve your listening, and sound more confident when you speak English. Now, how can you use it? In this video, I will tell you a short English story. Listen carefully to each sentence. Then, pause the video and say the sentence out loud. Repeat it just like you heard it. Copy the voice, the speed, and the emotion. You can watch the video many times. Practice again and again. The more you shadow, the better your English will become. Are you ready to start? Let's begin the story now. And don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel for more shadowing practice. My name is Aaliyah Carter. I'm 17 years old. I live in Detroit, Michigan, and I sit in the back of the classroom. Always. I don't speak much. Not because I'm shy, but because I'm tired. Tired from life. My mom works at a nursing home. My dad used to work in a car factory, but he lost his job 2 years ago. Since then, he's been angry, mostly with himself, sometimes with us. He spends most days on the couch. Sometimes he drinks. Sometimes he yells. Sometimes he cries. I try not to judge him. He used to be different. He used to carry me on his shoulders. He used to fix my bike. Now he can't fix anything, not even his own heart. At school, I don't have friends. I'm not like the other girls. I don't have new sneakers. I don't post selfies. I don't go to parties. I go to school. I work part-time at a grocery store. Then I go home, help my mom cook, and study until midnight. That's my life. But I want something more. I want to be a software engineer. I know it sounds crazy. No one in my family ever finished college. Some days we barely have food. Some nights I cry alone. But still, something inside me keeps whispering, "You can do it." That voice started when I was 10. My uncle gave me an old laptop. It barely worked, but I taught myself to code using free videos online. I built a tiny game where a cat chased a mouse. When it ran, I felt like I'd created magic. That day, I decided I wanted to build things that help people. I wanted to solve problems with code. I wanted to make something real. But dreams are hard when your world is falling apart. One afternoon, I was walking home when I saw a flyer on the school fence. Intro to Coding Workshop, weekend class, free for students. My heart jumped. I tore the paper off and ran home. That night, during dinner, I asked my mom, "Can I go?" She looked tired. Her hands were red from scrubbing floors, but she smiled a little. "If it's free," she said, "then go. I'll even walk you there." I could have cried. Saturday came. We walked 2 miles to the city library where the class was held. There were 10 students. Most wore clean clothes and shiny shoes. I wore my brother's old hoodie and sat in the corner. But when the instructor started speaking, something happened. I wasn't scared anymore. He talked about how code powers everything, from phones to hospitals, and how anyone can learn it. He showed us a simple program. We typed our first lines, "Hello world." When it was my turn, my fingers flew. Click, type, run. The screen lit up. The instructor nodded. "What's your name?" he asked. "Aaliyah." "You've got sharp focus, Aaliyah. Quick and curious." No one had ever said that to me before. I felt something light up inside me. After class, he gave me a book. He said, "Read this. It's not easy, but you'll understand more than you think." It was a programming book, used and worn, but beautiful. I carried it home like treasure. Every night I read a little. The terms were hard. I had to Google many words, but I kept going. Then something happened. One day at the store, the cash register froze during a rush. People groaned. The manager panicked. I stepped forward. "Can I try?" I rebooted the system, typed a quick command I'd just learned. The screen cleared. The register beeped back to life. When the manager asked, "Did you take a tech class?" I shrugged. Not yet. But inside, I felt proud. The next day, my instructor announced something. "There's a scholarship for one student to attend summer coding boot camp at Wayne State University." Everyone wanted it, but I needed it. I stayed late after class. I asked questions. I coded 2 projects ahead. Then one day, the instructor called my name. "Aaliyah," he said, holding out a letter, "you earned it." I opened it. I was going to the summer boot camp for free. When I got home, I gave the letter to my mom. She hugged me tight. "You are going to be the first engineer in this family," she whispered. And in that moment, I believed it. But the real journey was just about to begin. After I got the scholarship, everything changed. I started waking up early every day to code, to read, to imagine the life I wanted. And for the first time, I didn't feel like the girl from the back of the class. I felt like someone who mattered. The summer boot camp at Wayne State was coming fast. I had to prepare. But I also had a problem. I had no laptop for the program, no notebook, no bus money. I didn't want to tell my mom. She was already working double shifts. So I went to Mr. Chen, the man who managed the grocery store. He looked at me for a moment. Then he reached into a drawer and pulled out $80. "This is your first bonus," he said with a smile. "You're not just a stalker anymore. You're part of this place." I couldn't stop the tears. He wasn't just giving me money, he was giving me belief. I bought a secondhand laptop, a new notebook, and clean shoes from the thrift store. Then I printed my acceptance letter and folded it neatly into my backpack. On the first day of the boot camp, I was so nervous I almost turned around and went home. But I didn't. I walked through the tech lab doors and took a deep breath. Screens glowing, keyboards clicking, the smell of coffee and soda. It felt like another world, but it also felt like where I belonged. We were a group of 20 students. Some had fancy laptops and spoke with big words, but I didn't care. I was there to learn. Our instructor was Miss Diaz. She was young, kind, and brilliant. She said, "You don't need to be rich to become an engineer. You need 2 things, discipline and curiosity." I had both. We built apps, debugged errors, learned how data flows. Every time I wrote clean code, I felt closer to my uncle, my dreams, and my past. One afternoon, Miss Diaz gave us an assignment. Shadow a male developer for one day. Write about what you see, what you feel. I was assigned to a startup downtown. It was intense. A team fixing a crash bug, a designer sketching a new interface, a junior coder stuck on an algorithm. Then an alert flashed. Users couldn't log in. Developers jumped in. Code flew. Terminal scrolled. Fast hands, sharp minds. I watched from the side, frozen, terrified, amazed, and then they fixed it. The app came back online. The room exhaled. Quiet for a second. Diaz turned to me. "Aaliyah," she said, What are you thinking right now? I looked up the screen. I looked at the team. Then I said, this is what I want to do. I want to build things that work and help people. She nodded. You will. That night, I wrote everything down. The clicks, the stress, the joy when the error vanished. I finished my report and turned it in. On the last day of the program, we all sat in a small room. Miss Diaz handed each of us a certificate. But then she said, before we end, we have one special award. It goes to the student who showed the most growth, curiosity, and grit. She called my name, Aaliyah Carter. I stood up. The other students clapped. I walked to the front, shaking. Then she gave me something I never expected. A custom hoodie. It was dark blue, but it had my name stitched on the chest. Aaliyah C., Future Engineer. I held it like it was made of gold. I didn't know what to say, so I just whispered, thank you. When I got home, I showed it to my mom. She started crying, then laughing, then crying again. I knew you would do it, she said. My dad stood at the doorway, quiet. Then he said something I hadn't heard in a long time. I'm proud of you, kid. I hugged him. That night, I sat at the kitchen table with Naya. She touched the hoodie. Are you an engineer now? She asked. Not yet, I smiled, but I'm getting close. The hoodie still hangs in my room. I look at it every morning before school. It reminds me that my dream is real, that I didn't give up, that I'm more than where I came from. People still look at me and see a quiet girl, but I'm not just that anymore. I'm a builder, a problem solver, a future engineer. And one day, when I walk into a real tech office wearing a real badge, I'll think of this story, this journey, and I'll whisper to the little girl in the back of the class, you made it. Now it's your turn. Play this video again, pause after each sentence, repeat what I say just like a shadow. Copy my voice, copy the speed, copy the feeling. This is the shadowing technique. It will help you speak English better, faster, and more confidently. Practice every day. Even 10 minutes is enough. Believe in yourself. Thank you for learning with me. And don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel. More stories and shadowing videos are coming soon. See you next time.